The village of Arava burned. Flames leapt into the dark sky, black smoke curling around the broken remains of stone dwellings. The invaders had come without warning, raiders from the outer belts, scavengers who took what they wanted and left ruin behind. But in the middle of the chaos, amid the screams and fire, one small voice rose. "Please, don't hurt him." A Zyrrani woman, scaled, spined, and weary, threw herself between the raiders and a small human boy. The child clung to her waist, sobbing. She spread her wings, battered but defiant, shielding him from blades and rifles. "He is only a child," she cried. "You'll go through me first." The raiders sneered. Humans were rare on this world, settlers trying to trade and farm. Most had already fled or been killed. What was one boy worth? They raised their weapons, and the Zyrrani held her ground. Hours later, when Earth's response fleet arrived, they found the village in ruins. But they also found survivors, huddled in cellars and caves. And at the center of them, the Zyrrani woman still clutching the human boy, refusing to let go even after the danger had passed. Her name was Shira. She had no reason to save the child. No blood tie, no debt owed. Yet she had chosen to shield him with her life. When the boy was returned to his people, his story spread across Earth like wildfire. "The Zyrrani saved me," he told every officer, every reporter, every official who asked. "She didn't let them hurt me." In the halls of EarthGov, debates raged. The Zyrrani were a small species, scattered across the edges of space, often exploited by raiders or ignored by the great powers. They had no armies, no fleets, no influence. But now they had saved a human child. And humanity had a long memory for loyalty. "They risked everything for one of ours," Admiral Reyes said, her voice echoing in the council chamber. "And that means we owe them everything." The vote was swift. Earth declared the Zyrrani people under full human protection. Any act of aggression against them would be treated as aggression against humanity itself. It was the first time in history that Earth extended its shield over an alien species. For Shira, life changed overnight. One moment she had been a villager scraping out survival. The next, she was being hailed as a hero on worlds she had never even seen. Humans came to her village with supplies, doctors, and engineers. They rebuilt homes, dug new wells, restored what had been lost. When Shira tried to protest, saying she had only done what anyone should, the humans only smiled. "That's exactly why it matters," one captain told her. The boy she saved, David, clung to her whenever they met. His parents thanked her with tears, pressing her claws into their hands in gratitude. Shira felt unworthy, but she could not deny the warmth that spread through her chest when David laughed again. Not everyone was pleased. The raiders seethed. Protecting Zyrrani villages meant cutting off easy plunder. Other empires scoffed at the humans' sentimental weakness. To risk fleets, credits, and soldiers for a minor species was foolishness. But the humans stood firm. When a raider clan struck another Zyrrani outpost, Earth's warships descended in force. The battle was short and brutal. Survivors whispered of human soldiers who fought with fire in their eyes, not for profit, not for conquest, but because someone had threatened those they called friends. Word spread. The galaxy began to learn what it meant when humans said under protection. Shira's village thrived in the years that followed. With human aid, schools were built, trade routes opened, farms expanded. Zyrrani children studied alongside human settlers, learning languages and sharing traditions. But Shira herself remained uneasy. One evening, as she prepared a simple meal of roasted roots, David sat beside her. Now older, taller, his smile was the same as the boy she had once shielded. "You don't like being called a hero," he said quietly. Shira tilted her head. I do not feel like one. I was afraid. I only stood there because I could not bear to see you harmed. David grinned. That's what a hero is. Her spines lowered in thought. Perhaps. The true test came 5 years later. A Dominion warband, larger and better armed than raiders, descended on Zyrrani territory. They believed humans would not risk open conflict over such a small people. They were wrong. The Earth fleet arrived within hours, human ships forming a shield wall around Zyrrani settlements. Admiral Reyes herself broadcast a message to the Dominion. These worlds are under human protection. Any attack will be met with full retaliation. Leave now, or be destroyed. The Dominion hesitated. Then they fired. The battle that followed was brutal. Human ships burned, Dominion vessels shattered. Zyrrani civilians watched from the surface as the sky lit with fire. Many wept, fearing they would once again lose everything. But then the tide turned. Human boarding parties struck like thunder, fearless and relentless. Zyrrani farmers, inspired, took up arms alongside them, defending their homes with a courage no one had expected. And when the Dominion retreated at last, beaten and humiliated, the Zyrrani saw the truth. They were not alone anymore. After the battle, Earth and Zyrrani leaders met beneath banners of both species. Shira stood at the edge of the gathering, unwilling to step forward. Yet Admiral Reyes sought her out. You should be here, the Admiral said firmly. None of this would exist without you. Shira's claws twitched. I only saved one child. Reyes smiled. Sometimes, that's all it takes to change the course of history. Years passed. Zyrrani colonies grew, safe under human watch. Trade flourished, cultures mingled, children of both species grew up side by side. Shira aged, her wings no longer strong, but she lived to see her people thrive in ways she had never dreamed. On the anniversary of the battle, she was invited to Earth itself. Standing beneath a sky with only one sun, she watched as humans and Zyrrani together unveiled a monument. It was simple, a statue of a Zyrrani woman shielding a small human boy. The inscription read, "One act of courage, one bond of kindness, an eternal alliance." Shira wept, not because she felt worthy, but because she understood at last. Her choice that night had given her people a future. And across the galaxy, all species learn the same lesson. Threaten a human child, and humanity will never forget. But shield one and they will shield your entire people until the stars themselves burn out.